any point in time that we fall to the strong side and the shoulder touches the ground, freeze. Right now, I always have the ability to remount, okay? So don't negate that. I can always collect, hold onto the elbow, straighten the arm, step over, and remount. That's in a separate video. Let's talk about the idea of finishing the head and arm choke. When I'm here, his head and his arm are already together. So your goal is to keep them together while you readjust and find your base. When you're here, reach across and hug the neck. Keep your head tucked to their head. Straighten out your arm to come up. Straighten out your leg to come up. And when you get to the mount, turn with me towards the camera, please. The most important part about what we're doing is keeping the head touching the head. So let's scoot back a little bit. I want them to get a full view on this one. If I'm just hugging super tight, pull your elbow over between us, tap you in. Pull your elbow over between us. That's the most important part about this hold. When you hop off into the side to finish, you can finish belly down, you can finish on the knees, you can finish a bunch of ways. One of the hardest versions to get out of is the mount. So if you can manage to hold on to the mount with a post and apply this choke, it's going to end up being a very quick finish for you eventually. When you're here, you come up. I want you to transfer the hand from the neck to the shoulder. Take your time. Lift the head and push the elbow underneath. What's important about that is, other than moving the fucking mic, I want that little letter V gone. I don't want that little letter V between the neck and the arm. I want to lift his head and push it through to where my arm is almost like a letter L touching onto him. So again, I started here, and you feel that little letter V between us. My head is touching your head to avoid the arm being pulled out. I will lift your head and punch my arm through till it's a letter L. You feel that already? My hand is going to touch onto the shoulder, and I keep my head tucked. This hand is for base. The application of the choke is not driving forward. The most common mistake I see is people grinding forward onto the jaw. What I want you to do is I want you to sink backwards. When you sink backwards, try and touch your wrist with your shoulder. That's what we're looking to do. When you're here, keep tight with the head, hand on the shoulder, and I want you to pull back and make sure that your wrist and shoulder are meeting. It's not going to be this motion. It's physically pulling the shoulder back and trying to touch the wrist to your watch. That's what's creating the choke. So the idea right here is that his shoulder is touching his carotid artery. My shoulder is touching the opposite carotid artery. For him to get out, the arm is going to have to slide through. So here's a tiny detail on that. Some people are going to say to answer the phone. When you answer the phone, let that lay down. That looks like an Americana, right? So a common mistake is if I get here and you put your hand between us, yeah, I'm going to reach over here, I grab this, and I start to pull until I hear a pop. So don't answer the phone, okay? Your job now, no, I need that. I'm going to use my head and pull that back. My head stays snug and tight. Pull your arm out. That's what I want. And I want this hand free for base. I need a post. When I'm here, I'm cupping the shoulder, lifting, pushing through, and my shoulder goes back. The most important part about this is that my shoulder is going to my wrist. It shouldn't take strength. Now, I'm taking my knee off of the mat so that I can sink further back, not forward. You feel that? That's just a grindy pain in the ass, right? I'm going to stay low on the hips, knee off the mat, head pulling back, and let my shoulder start to sink.
The choking one.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. This shoulder pushing across is the choke. You want to try? Okay, freeze here. Yeah, touch your head to my head. Pause. You see that? You feel that? Okay. From here, I want you to take your other hand, lift my head up, and I want you to punch that deep. I like that. Keep your head tight. Freeze. I'm already dying. Pause here. I want you to pull this shoulder backwards and then down. Yes. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
It's not pushing forward and breaking my jaw, because I will grit my teeth and wait. Dude,
I'm a very different feeling.
Yeah. So it should be a simple blood choke.
Yeah.
It should not be a strength thing. It should not be a neck crank. Like, I'll fucking lay there and take a neck crank forever. I'm fine.
Good luck into that.
Yeah, good luck into that. So it's that motion that I'm just going to go versus tap, tap, because you're going to sleep. The shoulder goes back and then down.